Hello. Today we're just going to go over how to use a drill. Some of you might think this is unnecessary, but I've seen some videos where people don't know how to use them, and we'll cover some of the basics and some of the other settings on the drill itself that might confuse people. So I've got two different types here. They're both cordless drills, so they both need a battery, which some are, they're almost always the style with the slots or the style with the post. Either way, if it's slots, there's a little ridge inside here. You just line your battery up in there and shove it in. Test fire. The post style is a little bit easier. You just have to line up your long end with the long end here. So long end to long end, boom. Next, let's cover a few of the properties that every drill since like the 50s has. That is going to be your chuck. This is where the drill bit goes in and tightens in and allows this to spin. And your forward or reverse lever, that's this little piece here. So if we switch that way, it goes backwards. If we go that way, it goes forwards. And in the middle is off. That's your safety. This drill has the same thing. Your little slider there, that's your forward and reverse lever. Now the chuck is actually these three pieces in there. If you need to open it or close it, so we just switched this to backwards, pinch the black piece, run it, and it opens up. Now see how it twisted my hand there? That's bottomed out. That's as far open as that can go. If you try to do any more, you'll damage it. So if you happen to have some kind of really weird, great big drill bit, and it doesn't fit in there, it won't. Same thing here. This one has a slightly different looking edge to it. Like I can't move this piece. The silver, the black piece is what allows that to open. And there it goes at bottomed out. You can move these by hand. So we can sit here and just twist and twist it if we want to run that. But everyone that's comfortable with running a drill always just uses the powered part of it because it's a lot faster. The next thing to cover on pretty much every cordless drill since they started making them is going to be your speed setting. So this is just got a 1 or a 2. This one has a low and a high. That's just your speed setting. And depending on what you're doing with it will depend on whether or not you want to go high or low. If you're mixing something like paint, then, and you can get away with it because your bucket's empty enough or something, you can go ahead and kick it up to high. For me personally, drilling, I like to use it in level 1. And that brings us into our next part here. All modern drills have that part that twists. This is your torque setting. So what that means is if you're putting in screws, if we're punching in screws, you can adjust how far that screw gets sunk into the material. Now, see here we've got 13, that dot, and then our next one is just this little twisty thing. That is your drill setting. So if we have a drill bit in it, that's the setting we're going to want to use for it. This one has this other little dial there. That's your hammer setting, because this is a hammer drill, which is used to go into masonry, your concrete blocks, brick, and stone. This drill doesn't have that. It's just the twisty bit and your torque settings. Next, you'll see that I've got an arrangement of drill bits laid out. This is just to show you what the different bottoms of them look like. So here is the traditional smooth one. It's just a round piece of rod. This is the same, but it's been used. See all these scratch marks on it? That's because it's round, so it just gets caught in there and actually spins inside the drill itself, which is not the way you're supposed to. You want these to spin as a unit. Now, next, these two have a little bit of a variation on that. See a flat space? That just helps this pinch in here so it doesn't do the chewed up spinningness like that one. This is the same thing. It just has more flat edges on it. Now this is actually designed for a different style of drill altogether, but these will work in your traditional style drill just as good, if not actually a little bit better, because again, you've got multi-sides, so it doesn't get twisted in there and cause all the marring. So if you're trying to find a set, these style are usually a good bet to go for. Now, to show you loading a drill bit, so we're going to tighten this up a little bit. See, now I can see my jaws there just a little. I'll take that, put that end into it, and right there it started to tighten down, which means this is held in there. But now I need to grab that and give it one more little twist so it tightens it up. That should keep this from getting loose and spinning around. And just for demonstration, see? Now to take it out, we're going to switch our lever here back to the reverse, and you give this a good tight grab and squeeze the trigger a little bit, and it loosens that up. Now we can take it out. If you've drilled through quite a bit, several holes in a 2x4 or into some metal, be careful because these will get really hot. And if you're not paying attention and grab right a hold of it, it burns a little bit. Wanted to show you what it looks like when this bit spins the way that it's not supposed to in there. So right now it's drilling. There. See how this stopped, but this moved? Right now, the only thing that's doing is chewing up the end of our drill bit here. So at that point, that's caused by this not being tight enough on there. So what we do is tighten that back up, give it a hard twist, and now it's ready to keep going. All right, now that we've showed you all that, we'll show the torque settings that I was talking about. I've got this little baby bit here. Unfortunately, that was the small one. They didn't have a longer set when I had to buy these the other day. But I'm going to get this loaded up in the drill, just like I had done with the drill bit. Just set it in there that little bit, hold this, tighten it down. Now that's in there pretty good. Now I'll take our torque setting and twist it way down here to number 1 and show you what happens. So that's maxed out. At number 1, it makes that clicking noise. So that's all the further that we'll drill that one in if it's left at number 1. Now you can crank this up here. Let's try 7. So 7 puts us pretty much perfectly flat with that. So if I'm going to do a bunch of screws into plywood, then number 7 is probably the setting that I want to use. And it should still work for taking it out. Whoops, should have held on to that. There we go. Now, for 98% of people that use a drill, that's the only reason that you'll use the reverse, is to loosen this or to take a screw out. For that 2% of the other time that you'll use it is if you have a specialty set of left-hand drill bits. These are for metalworking mostly. When you get something stuck in the metal, this helps it unscrew. So don't need to dive into that real deep. Just know it is possible to accidentally get a left-handed drill bit. I'll give you a close-up of what that looks like next to the normal one. Okay, so silver here is our normal drill bit. Gold is our left hand, and you can see the points on them are actually backwards, meaning this one drills by going back to the left, this one drills by going to the right. Just to show you that. All right, I'm just switching over. I'll show you the torque settings here because it's pretty similar. Now 7 on that one worked to take this all the way in. On this older drill, I imagine it will be different. Sure enough is, but see how it stops? So we'll just crank it up a little bit. See where this one takes us. Not quite far enough. So now you can just play with that and figure out how deep you need to drill. Or sorry, how deep you need to put your screw. And that covers pretty much all the functions other than the hammer of this one. And again, that is meant to go into masonry. But just so you know what it sounds like and looks like, I'll go ahead and use it once on this. And this is just a demonstration. You wouldn't actually want to use this for this kind of wood and stuff, but just so you can hear it. See that weird noise that it's making? That is the hammer. That's a little different than the clicking that it makes putting the screw in. There it was doing a little different, a little slower. There, I think we've covered all the functions and shown you how to run them. Hope you guys enjoy. And if you want to see more, let me know. I've got other tools to show you.